All right, we should be live. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Ryan from the Indie Music Academy, the channel where we uncover the mysteries of the music industry, learn how to grow a larger fan base, and learn how to earn an income from our music. And I'm super pumped today to have Wes from Bandzoogle here with us. We're going to be diving into artist website stuff. We'll have a discussion about SEO, about the essential pages of your website, and of course, using Bandzoogle as a super powerful and affordable tool to build your artist website. So welcome. I'm so glad that you're here, Wes.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Thanks for inviting me onto your channel. I'm really excited, and I hope I can share some interesting insights and some knowledge.
Absolutely. And if you're here watching live, if you could do us a favor, just drop a hello in the chat, say hi, say your name, say what you do. We want to know who's with us today because this is interactive and we will be answering your questions. So drop a hello real quick. And I actually should have said this in the intro, but Wes is the head of growth marketing at Bandzoogle. So he's the perfect person to talk about Bandzoogle, to talk about marketing. It's a perfect fit for this channel. So how about we just start with you telling us a little bit about what you do. You can talk about how you're a musician as well, but let's just share a little intro with the audience today so they could get to know you a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. Like you said, my official title is the head of growth marketing at Banzoogle. I'm basically responsible for, you know, marketing Banzoogle, growing our customer base essentially. That's what I do. So basically, if you visit our website or interact with us online, or see our ads on anywhere, that's what I'm doing. Um,
Mhm.
I've been doing that for I've been with Bandzoogle for about 6 years, I think, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
Enough years that I've
solid.
lost count. And before that, I worked at another tech company called Lander,
Oh yeah,
AI mastering company.
that's right.
Um, yeah, and I've been doing marketing. I used to work before that in agencies, marketing agencies, and things like that. So I've been doing marketing for a pretty long time, and very yeah, very happy to be doing marketing in the music industry for a long time. So that's
Yeah.
yeah, and like you said, I'm a musician as well. That's sort of what I went to school for music. I've been doing that for a very long time. Less so now, but
Mhm.
I still work on music. Have my little recording studio here that in my house, and
Yeah.
you know,
That's awesome. We're so similar, musician turned marketer. And what made you decide, or I don't know, what inspired you to do marketing in the music industry rather than stay at the agency? What was like that pull? Did you just have to work in music? It was an itch you just had to
that
scratch? Or
yeah, it was sort of my dream. Like I sort of had this thing where I kind of gave myself a deadline of when I turned 25. If I hadn't, if I wasn't getting somewhere with my music career, I was gonna do something different.
yeah.
And I sort of landed on marketing at that time, and but it was sort of a dream at the beginning. I could actually really, like, thinking back, could never have imagined being able to do somehow combine those things.
Hmm.
Um, and so when I had been working in agencies for many years, the opportunity came up to join Lander, which at the time hadn't launched yet. It was just a startup that had
Wow.
was pre launch. That was sort of like a bit of a dream opportunity at the time, and
Hmm.
so yeah, ever since then, I think there's kind of no turning back. Like I can't see myself working in any other kind of type of business that's not involved in music in some way. It's
That's
too much
awesome.
fun.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity. I might actually have some Lander questions if you're open to it, but
It's been a while,
that's
but
so
yeah.
cool too. Yeah, it's like let me reach back in the memory. Yeah, so Bandzoogle is a small team. Can you tell us a little bit about, the company, the work environment, the product, of course? I noticed that you guys have an amazing web builder that seems to be more affordable than every other option, which is perfect for artists who are starting out. But tell us a little bit about Bandzoogle and how you ended up there, and a little bit about the product.
Yeah, I I joined Bandzoogle initially as a consultant. And after 6 months or so, there was clear that there was a need for somebody to just help do all the growth stuff. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, we were a very small team when I joined. I think I don't even know how many, maybe 15 people or something.
Hmm.
Now we're maybe I don't know the exact number, but I think we're something like 30 people, and I think about half
Hmm.
of our team, if not more than half our team, are the customer service team. And
Hmm.
and then other than that, mostly developers, and then there's a few of us working on the kind of marketing side. Um,
Right.
yeah, it's an amazing team. I mean, I've been here for 6 years. It's an amazing team to be
Hmm.
part of. We all work remotely from our houses. There's no office. We're all over the world, mostly North America. There's some of us are in South America, Europe, New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah, all over. Um, and Yeah, I mean, we're sort of united, I think, by the idea of like working on this sort of mission of helping musicians, independent musicians.
Hmm.
I think we feel a sense of purpose, that kind of like is sort of a global feeling of purpose, and
Yeah.
so it's very caring, empathetic, really nice team to be a part of. And I think that hopefully shows in what we offer too.
Totally. I mean, it does. When I talk to my subscribers about Bandzoogle, actually, someone just commented right now, they love it. They love the price point, they love the features. I am just blown away at the fact that you can have a membership site built into Bandzoogle, and you can do these really pro things like pro SEO tools, everything that would cost way, way more with a different web builder. um, and it's perfect, and there's zero commission fees on sales. And it's starting to make sense the more you talk about the company, how you guys work remote, there's no office, there's a lot of savings there, and it seems you're passing the savings on to the artist, which is fantastic. And whenever someone's trying to decide, like, don't want to throw out too many names, but should I do Bandzoogle or Squarespace, or should I do Wix or Bandzoogle, and it's like, well, you can like get the basic plan on this web builder, or you can get the pro plan for less on Bandzoogle. And yeah, I don't know if that's on purpose or an accident, but it's a huge benefit that I see as an artist and as someone who recommends tools, to other artists. And I'm just like, you could just get the best, tier of Bandzoogle for less, and it's killer, and it creates a beautiful site too. So
Yeah.
I hope that other artists who are tuning in either check it out, or if they already have a site, they realize that the tools are there and they're incredible, especially the SEO tools, which we'll talk about next. But before we change topics to SEO, I just want to invite everyone who's tuning in. We have a lot of new people who just joined. I want you just to say hi in the chat. This is going to be interactive. We're going to take your questions. So feel free to drop any questions about building your website, about Bandzoogle specifically. We have Wes here, who's the head of growth marketing at Bandzoogle. So he actually knows things about Bandzoogle, and you can ask him directly instead of having to Google it. Or if you have any questions about just the music industry in general, about artistry in general, we're both musicians and artists and marketers. So don't be shy. Drop in a hello. Dan says hello from Ontario. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Benjamin says hello. Thank you. So yeah, we want this to be interactive. We want to take your questions, and we also love seeing your name and your face pop up in the chat because we're doing this for you, and we definitely don't want you to miss out while we are live. So with that being said, let's talk about SEO, which is a sleeper skill, I'd say. So if you can understand SEO, uh, you have something in your tool bag that is really going to serve you over the long term. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, it has for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, for most businesses, I mean, SEO and Bandzoogle included, I mean, SEO is it's vital. It's crucial. It's one of the most
Vital. I
important,
think it's a great word. Yeah.
sources of customers for us, I guess you could say, our audience.
Hmm.
So it's don't suppose it's necessarily the same for everybody, but definitely for probably, one of the reasons why it's such a big topic is that it is that important for so many different kinds of businesses.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you're watching and you don't know exactly what SEO stands for, that stands for search engine optimization. And funny enough, like this whole YouTube channel, my website, basically my whole music career past, gosh, what year was it? My whole music career, maybe past like 2016, was a result of SEO. A quick story. There was one blog post that I wrote on a website that doesn't exist anymore. Um, and it was, me just kind of writing about producing and about the plugins that I used. And one of these plugins was Contact. And if you're a producer, home producer, you probably have heard of Contact by Native Instruments, and you can purchase sample libraries and you can create your own. And that's what this blog post was about. And before the Indie Music Academy, before this channel, before anything, I wrote this blog post, and it ended up ranking in the Google search results. And it was actually what started my mailing list from zero, in case you've ever wondered, right? How do you start a mailing list from zero? Well, you have to find a stream of traffic, and SEO was crucial for me. And I kind of fell into that on accident. I was like, what's going on here? How come all these people are downloading my contact library that I was offering? And I got, I think, somewhere between 500 to 800 emails by accident. And I fell into this world of SEO, and I was like, I have to learn more about this because it's so powerful. It's like free ads, basically. Well, not necessarily free. It takes work. But and Bandzoogle has SEO tools built in for artists. It's incredible that it's included in these packages. So I would love for you to talk about how Bandzoogle focuses on SEO, how musicians need to have an SEO. Well, they just need to have it on their radar for things like appearing in the Google search, for things like having your Google what's it called? The sidebar, where they feature you, where your
Knowledge
products
panel.
show up. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So let's talk about that for a little bit, just for people who are kind of brand new to this world of SEO. What are some of the things that Bandzoogle offers, and some of the things that artists who are tuned in today can utilize?
Yeah, one of the reasons why it's so important for us to offer something like this is that for as an artist, as a talking in sort of Google language, I guess, an
Yeah.
entity,
Mhm.
which an artist would be, or an entity is anything, it could be a country, it could be a place, it could be whatever, a person. So as an entity, an artist, um, Google will, and they've kind of like outright, like they've literally written this down, that that a website is considered by Google to be like the central kind of main authority for information for
Mm,
an artist, right? So
mhm.
having website for SEO, is the website is like the central thing, the central store of information that Google will look at to say, okay, this is the place that has the most authoritative information about the artist.
That's so
Um,
crazy. So
yeah,
Google says that your artist website's more important than your social medias. It's more important than anything else, and that's what Google decided, like the
yeah,
biggest search engine in the world.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Crazy. And so
yeah.
like we'd be dumb not to respond to that, because it's like we're not going to win against Google, right?
I think if SEO is important to you, I think it's having a website is just essential. I don't think it makes any sense to care about SEO if you don't have a website. So,
Mhm, mhm,
um, you know, um, so that's why for us it's important to offer tools like that to make sure that artists can take advantage of that.
mhm.
We added things like like metadata.
Yes.
There's certain types of metadata that are useful for artists for music and shows, things like that, so that it shows up in the search results in a certain way, and
Mhm.
that sort of thing. So um, Yeah, so that's yeah, we're you know we're always, it's on our radar. You know, that topic, or that those kinds of tools are always on our radar, and we're always looking at improving them. Um, we added metadata, I think, a few years ago, and there are more things that we have on our radar to keep doing, to keep making, improvements, to help artists with, just with the ability, the tools that would allow you to take advantage of search engines a little bit more. Um, Obviously, it's up to the artist to make sure that, you know what kind of keywords you're after, what kind of keywords your fans might be searching, understand like what your strategy is, and making
Mhm.
sure that the right content is on your site. And then for us, we're just making sure that when you do those things, it's going to be set up, and optimized,
Right.
for that kind of
Yeah.
content.
And just so people know who maybe are beginners in SEO, but the metadata that he's talking about, it would have to be hard coded into your website if you didn't use Bandzoogle, right? So I think they're called, well, I've heard different things from different people, but I think they're called H tags, right? And so, or maybe you call them something else, but basically there's a tag for different types of content. For example, if you write a blog post in the metadata, Google knows it's a blog post and not like your homepage, for example. And so, Bandzoogle puts all of these tags automatically, so you don't have to do it manually with code. If you're like me, I mean, I learned how to code, don't like doing it. I forgot how to code basically because I was like, yeah, this is not how I want to spend my time. And so using a great web builder like Bandzoogle is going to save a ton of time.
There's
So,
yeah, there's even, I mean, there's some types of metadata that I don't even know, that I'm not even sure how you would do it if it wasn't done kind of in the background. Like, there's
mhm.
album and song metadata and event
Yes, yes.
metadata. And so that, that helps, if you search, sometimes, if you search for artist or band or whatever, let's say you search for their songs, whatever, and you see, like, in the search results, you see all their, albums and songs that show up right in the search results page. Or you might see their event listings in the search result page, like sometimes in the knowledge panel, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
That's the kind of thing that having the metadata it'll help Google to be able to understand what that information is. It's structured data, so it's just structuring the data
Right.
for the search engines, so that they can display it there in a way that, they can convert that structured data so that they can display it in whatever way they display it in the search
Mhm.
results, basically. So
Yeah. I can't stress enough how crucial that is. The structured data would have to be added manually. If you were using, and I hate picking on other companies, but if you're using like a Squarespace or a Wix, you'd have to add that code in manually when you talk about your song, for example. When Bandzoogle does that built right in, you don't have to worry about adding any of that structured code to tag what is your song name, what is your album name, all that kind of stuff is built right in, which is incredible. And it's literally, I mean, this Captain Obvious over here, it's literally a tool perfect for musicians. And I love that. So I think it's so important that we did touch on SEO today. And Brentford's actually asking, what's the best place to start to learn how to utilize SEO? Well, there's a great blog post actually that you wrote, which is a great place to start on the Bandzoogle blog. There are so many SEO experts out there. I don't even want to call myself an expert in SEO, but I do have a training that kind of contextualizes SEO for musicians, because you don't want to worry about things that really aren't, applicable to your artistry, right? There's a whole world of SEO out there. You don't need to worry about structured data unless if you know how to code, unless if you're building a tool like Bandzoogle. So I'd say that the best place to start, honestly, is I can drop a link to a great blog post that is on the Bandzoogle website right now. Actually, that should be super useful
yeah,
for you.
I actually wrote a series. It's actually
Oh,
six blog posts. The first one is probably the one that you're sharing,
mhm.
I wrote them kind of in the sequence of where you might want to start, right? So,
Yes.
um, yeah. So I think understanding, I mean, first place to start would be to understand what you want to accomplish with SEO. Get your
Mhm.
head wrapped around that, because everything would kind of, start there and everything would kind of go from there. That's what I kind of outlined in the first post.
Mhm. Yeah, that's awesome. Link dropped. Hopefully you get that in there. Yes, and then if you are looking for a structured training, I feel like I've said structured more today than any other day of my life. I'll drop in that the link to that training. It's called How to Rank, and that's on the Indie Music Academy website as well. That should be super helpful. Looks like we also got a ton more people chiming in. We got Glenn. Welcome. Thanks for watching. Brantford says hello from Florida. If you guys are just tuning in now, just drop a hello. We have Wes from Bandzoogle, head of growth marketing. We're going to be taking your questions, so feel free to drop them in now. We let the questions pile up, and we'll scroll all the way back to the beginning. So don't feel like your question will be missed. Just feel like you can ask anything. Basically, this is your time. What's up? Thanks for joining in. And howdy from Cannabis Designs. Welcome. Okay, so we are good with SEO. I feel like I want to talk about the subscription feature that Bandzoogle has, because that blows my mind. Let me just talk a little bit about my personal website journey. I have always wanted to offer a subscription, and a lot of tools that I've used in the past. I'll stop name dropping the competitors, but I had to buy a separate plugin in order to password protect some pages on my website. Right, kind of common, depending on what web builder you have. Bandzoogle, on the other hand, has a subscription feature built in, and it's crazy. It's just built in, basically free, because you guys didn't upgrade, or you guys didn't increase the price or add any tiers when you added that, which props to you guys. I know that was part of your mission, to just increase the value, give more tools and features without increasing the price, because of course your mission is to give to artists and make it so that they can get what they have to get at an affordable price. So let's talk about the subscription feature, because I know I can describe it basically, but you could describe it better. It's basically a great way to get supporters, almost Patreon style, just right from your website. Want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, kind of going back to what you're saying, I mean, uh, what we do at Bandzoogle is, and the reason that we have a feature like this, is because we have, I think coming up on about 60,000 people who use our platform
Wow.
for their websites, and they're almost all musicians, or people who, music creators, people who are in the music industry, and
Hmm.
we listen to what they ask for, and subscriptions
Hmm.
is something that is, asked for, or was asked for, enough for us to make that, something that we built, and
Yeah.
it's kind of, we have, being a website platform, we're able to offer something unique whenever we release features like this. There's because we're a website platform, we're able to offer things that are unique to what you be able to get anywhere else. So if you're using Patreon or Bandcamp, you can do a subscription. You can offer a subscription service there, but there's lots of reasons why you might use any platform, but with those platforms, they're more boxed in. There's like a structure. The platform works the way that it works, um, and you also have to pay commission. With Bandzoogle,
Yes.
we have a commission-free kind of model, so that anytime you earn anything off your website, we never ever take anything from that. It doesn't. We don't even touch the money; it just goes straight from the fan into your Stripe account, without routing through us at all, because we don't take commission, so we don't have to be
Mhm.
involved in the transaction.
That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, and it also allows us, because a website is such a flexible thing. Yeah, with Bandzoogle, you can make as many pages as you want. You can design them however you want. You can put whatever you want on any page. So what we're able to offer is that you can, um, set up like basically like subscriber only areas of your website, and you can put anything you want on those, that we offer like as a feature, which is, obviously lots of different things. You could put exclusive music on there. You could have like a blog feature where you can have like a feed that's sort of Patreon style, like new updates and things like that. You could do exclusive, I don't know, merch, or you can offer any kind of tier that you want, and any pricing. They can have multiple tiers, so you kind of window different content for different tiers. So I mean, it does create maybe a little bit more. It's a little bit more effort to set up, because it's not like just out of the box. It's like you can kind of just literally just do anything you want with it. You can get super creative.
Totally.
But it allows you to kind of keep everybody on your website. It's branded to you. It's yours. You can just create your own thing. So that's kind of exciting.
That is, especially the point that you brought up, that they're already on your website. So instead of juggling like 4 different things, right? You can have your members come back to your website every single time, especially if they're your supporters, your VIP subscribers, whatever you want to call them, right? They're coming back to your website for that VIP content. And what that's going to do is it's going to eventually increase your domain reputation, because you're getting a lot of return visitors, another SEO thing, which is why it's such a great idea to think about building it yourself. Like, it is super convenient to have that shell of Patreon ready to go, and all you have to do is like plug in a few details. However, there's a lot of benefits to increasing your site traffic if you're going to invest time in your website, which we talked about earlier. It's probably a good idea if you want to have your music be discoverable on Google, the biggest search engine in the world. So yeah, I think it's just awesome too that you guys don't take any fees. That's crazy, especially as we know, there's huge fees on these other platforms. So, and then as well, I just want to bring this up because I'm sure it's a question that many are asking, but can you sell merch on Bandzoogle as well?
Of course, yeah, you can sell merch. You can sell just about anything. I mean, you can sell digital downloads. You can sell merch. You could sell. Oh gosh, I mean, we also integrate with Printful. So if you want to sell print on demand, we have an integration with Printful, which makes it really easy to do that. People can buy products on your website that are just sent right to Printful, and the drop ship happens, and you don't have to do anything. Yeah, you can sell just about anything. We have all those tools, and yeah.
Yeah, we got a great question that just came in from Dan. Actually, I'll pull it up. He's asking, how would the subscription membership aspects technically link up with an email list? I see emails incorporated into Bandzoogle, but can you link, I'm assuming, can you link the email capture to Active Campaign, or does it have to stay on the website?
We have our own built-in tool, so it does connect to that. So like if you want to send a mail outs to your subscribers, things like that, that's possible to do through the Bandzoogle tool. I mean, there's no, maybe some people have figured something out. There's no like kind of official or way that I know of that you could kind of connect it to a third-party email service.
Right.
But I mean, technically, if you wanted to, you could export your mailing list from Bandzoogle and import it into MailChimp or whatever. Nothing wrong with that.
For sure.
But for ease of use, it's all kind of built into Bandzoogle, and we'll be, again, like, so on our radars, improving our mailing list tools as well. So
nice.
We're always looking at ways to make that a little bit easier within the ecosystem.
Yeah, Dan, just real quick, since I know you're an 80/20 student, what I would do is use the Active Campaign forms to capture subscribers, but then email your VIP members who pay monthly through Bandzoogle. And so you basically use the Bandzoogle tool for your VIP people, and then the people who've not bought yet, who are just kind of getting to know you, you can use Active Campaign and warm them up. That's what I would do. All right. That was a great question. Really good. We have a few people who just joined in. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome. If you are just tuning in, just drop a hello in the chat. We're super lucky to have Wes here from Bandzoogle talking about Bandzoogle, but we're also just talking about marketing and SEO in general too. So if you have any questions, just drop it in. We're open, honestly, to anything. We're both, musicians and really care about helping artists. So don't be shy. Ask your question, just like how Dan did, and we'll jump into it live for you. All right. So next, I want to talk about SoundScan. What is SoundScan? I've never seen SoundScan listed as a feature on a website builder before, but you guys do. And that's a feature that's specific for musicians. I'd love for you to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, you probably don't see it mentioned for website, by website builders, because I don't think anybody else does it out of the box. Like, so essentially,
Nice.
when you're selling music, when you make sales off your music, that can be reported to SoundScan, which is tracking all the music sales that happen everywhere where it gets reported, and then it ends up feeding into the Billboard charts. So like, that's basically what the Billboard charts are based off of. So if you want to try to get onto a Billboard chart, you need to be paying attention and reporting yourselves as SoundScan. That's one of the things we offer, is just that automatic kind of built-in SoundScan reporting. So if you're selling music downloads or I think, or albums, physical albums as well. I'm not like a super, I don't have like super detailed knowledge on this, but I think if you're selling any type of music format directly to fans, each of
Yeah.
those sales will get reported to SoundScan and contribute to any kind of Billboard ranking that you're trying to get.
Yeah, that's right. The coders figure that out. All we have to worry about is that our sales get reported to the Billboard charts eventually. So it's a legit reporting tool that's built right in. That's awesome. That's actually a really common question too that I get in my email replies, because I have an email for all new subscribers that basically says, "What's your questions? Like, what do you want to learn?" And that's a really common one. It's like, how do I report my music to the Billboard charts, right? If I'm selling my music on my own, and that solves a huge problem, especially for the DIY artist who wants to be in control of their sales. They want to set prices. They want to offer their music directly to their fans, but they also want to have it in the system. They want to have it reported as if it was sold on iTunes or as if it was sold on Amazon. And so you guys solve that problem, which is fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right. And then I think a couple more things that I feel like are just really great features are like, well, let's just talk about crowdfunding. There's kind of a theme here that Bandzoogle is going to replace all of these extra tools. You won't need a Patreon anymore. You won't need, a GoFundMe anymore. You can do it all on your website in this branded space, right? It's branded because it's your website. You get to edit every little detail about it. And crowdfunding is one of the features. So tell me about that. Tell me a little bit about how artists can crowdfund on their own website using Bandzoogle.
Yeah. So we have, like I said earlier, we have tools where you can sell just about anything on your website through Bandzoogle. And so what we started to do a few years ago, and we did a lot of it the past year, especially during the pandemic, trying to find ways of like leveraging those tools that we already offer in ways that give artists more options and more possibilities for how you could kind of monetize your content. And so crowdfunding was one of the things that we talked about for a long time, and we released that as a feature. And would work in a similar way to what you'd see from from other crowdfunding platforms, where you're able to offer different kind of tiers with different rewards, and then people sign up for those rewards, and you can kind of
Mm,
bundle a package for them, and then give them updates. And it would work. It's similar kind of idea to what we'd offer with subscriptions, in that you can create like like sort of these gated, or like kind of, what do you call them, uh, like
like member only. Yeah.
supporter only areas of the
Supporter
site.
only.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could offer
Mhm.
updates, send them email updates, and that sort of thing. Um, and again, like, one of the things that when we released this feature around the same time that, if you remember, Pledge Music blew up. And one of the things that we were really happy to be able to offer, because there's a lot of sensitivity about like a front base, especially what it kind of was exposed when that happened with Pledge Music, which is that when your fans are pledging, making pledges, that money goes somewhere, and then in a lot of cases it wasn't going to where it's supposed to go. And so we were really happy to be able to offer that same kind of feature to artists, where there's no middleman. Like, again, we don't take any commission,
Yeah.
so everything that you make from your fans literally just goes straight into your Stripe account. It doesn't sit anywhere for a few days to get processed. It's not held anywhere. It just goes straight to you. So that was kind of a big thing, because that's obviously that has been problematic in the past.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's one of many tools that we released in the past couple of years that just give to kind of take those things that we're able to offer and kind of allow you to kind of like package them and use them in creative different ways based on what you need as a musician, kind of thing. So
Totally. And all with no fees. I mean, obviously there are the Stripe fees that can't be avoided,
strike fees. Yeah.
but there are no fees taken out by Bandzoogle, which, I mean, that's a huge choice that you guys had to make, and you guys chose to hand it all over to the artist, which is awesome. I mean, props to you guys. There's a lot of tools popping up with a lot of similar features, but they do not have that 0% commission fee built in. So, just think about that. I don't know about you guys, but I get messaged all the time on Instagram with some new tool, some software startup that is trying to do basically what you guys have been doing for a long time. But the thing is that their model has a lot more fees built in, because they're trying to become profitable real fast. They don't have the long history that Bandzoogle has. And they also, you guys, benefit by also being a web builder. So it's like the entire ecosystem can exist on your website, which is crazy. It's hard to find an all-in-one tool that's actually good. That's what I found in my life and in my journey. So it's crazy cool that you guys offer all this. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, no, I mean, Bandzoogle's been around since 2003, so we're coming up on 20 years. And I think what you mentioned earlier, like, to my knowledge, I think the pricing that we have, I don't know when our pricing plans were introduced, like that we have now, but it was way before I joined. As far as I know, we've never changed our pricing, or at least we've never increased it.
Wow.
So, and like you said, like we just focus on adding more features onto our plans. We don't add things and charge extra fees for them. We just have 20 years worth of the team putting work into making something cool, and yeah, and we just kind of sustainably and gradually built up our kind of like our business. There's nothing, we don't try to just get all sorts of funding and do all sorts of crazy stuff. We just offer what our members need, and we're able to do that without charging more.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's crazy that you can say that too. Never increase price.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, everyone. So we are getting into our Q&A time. We're going to go back and answer some questions. I want to make sure that everyone's question gets answered. Also, now is the time to drop in new questions into the chat. It can be about music marketing. It can be about SEO, like what we talked about earlier. It could be about your website, like what pages you need on your website. It could be about Bandzoogle. Don't be shy. Ask any question you want. We're super lucky to have Wes here today with us. And also, I would suggest you super take advantage of our time today. Just open up bandzoogle.com in a new tab and check it out. And if you have any questions, you could just ask Wes right now, which is a super awesome opportunity. And of course, if you have any questions about just anything, I feel like we would just love to help as well. There's leave no stone unturned, right? So I'm going to go back and I'm going to highlight a few questions that I saw from earlier. But yeah, don't be shy. We have a really great audience today. Dominic is asking, I have a website through Weebly. If we were to move to Bandzoogle, are you able to help get our name moved, or do we need to figure it out? Technologically challenged and seems overwhelming. I think what he means by name, and let me know if you're still watching, Dom, but you mean the domain name. Yeah, I said that right. You're trying to get your .com moved over to the new website because you have secured your band name and your band website already. So he's wondering if it can all be moved if he's moving to a different web builder tool. And I think I know the answer to this one, but I'll let you answer this.
Yeah, well, you definitely can. Yeah,
Mhm.
of course, and we do have if it gets tricky, which changing DNS settings stuff like that. We have a really amazing support team that is pretty used to kind of really helping walk people through that process if there's anything that's tricky. Um, and one of the things that kind of blew my mind when I joined Bandzoogle is that we also offer when you join Bandzoogle a free domain name for
Mm.
life, so that if you were to register, if you were to join Bandzoogle and register a domain name, you would get that for free for as long as you're a member of Bandzoogle. And also, if you move your domain name over from another service to Bandzoogle, then that becomes something that we also cover for free, essentially. So that's
Nice.
kind of cool. That's what I did with my domain, and
Yeah.
and yeah, so uh, we have lots of help for that. Yeah, thanks, Dominic. It's could definitely our
Mhm.
support team would be, I think, very helpful if you need
Yeah.
anything.
And I just want to make sure if you're still watching, Daniel, your question was super similar. Um, but I just want to make sure that you get a specific answer. I have a website that I bought and paid for 19 a month. I think I know which one that is. My artist name was available, but I want to move it over. Yeah, same thing. It's about moving the domain name. Gosh, that's so hard for me to say. And that is separate from the website builder, right? So your web property, it might be managed in GoDaddy, it might be bought in Namecheap or wherever you ended up getting the domain. That's separate from your web builder, and sometimes you buy them at the same time, sometimes you don't, but it can all be moved around. The Bandzoogle support team is ready to help you. So just want you guys to know that yes, it's all flexible. Anything is possible. It's not locked in.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and when you have a domain name, even if you do move it to Bandzoogle or whatever, wherever it is, it's yours. So if you were to ever leave Bandzoogle, you can take your domain name with you. It's yours to have. So
all right, this I think what this guy's saying. Somebody's son says I have an idea for I think a feature for Bandzoogle that he wants to pitch. So if you're still watching, sure. I mean, go ahead. I think that's fine.
we do
And
like if you if you do have I can't remember if there's a particular suggestion thing, but you can definitely email support at Bandzoogle if you have any suggestions. And we do
mhm,
actually like log all of the suggestions, and
that's awesome.
we keep them, and we do, like with subscriptions and many other things, we do end up actually a lot of the time, as much as we can, actually do those things if enough people ask for them. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Actually, a member of the indie growth community, Marcelo. Some of you guys watching might know him because he's been a member for a long time in the coaching group. But he was just saying the other day that he contacted Bandzoogle about a feature, and they actually implemented it like within a week or two. Like it was a little change, but I was like, dude, can you imagine any other company with that kind of turnaround on a feature request? It's
I can't
crazy.
promise we can do that every time, but that's good.
I don't want to set this unrealistic standard, but it's just a testament to how you guys do pay attention to that, and you guys do read the suggestions. And of course, not every suggestion is practical or possible, but if it is, you guys are responsive to that. That's really awesome.
And because we're a small team, like I was saying earlier, like we have a chat, we have Slack, and we all,
Mhm.
there's no, our when you talk to support, like the support, our support team is part of our team, so we all talk
Mhm.
and we discuss things. If things come in, like there's a direct line of communication between all of us. So it's not like, in some larger companies where you talk to support is kind of isolated. Like we all talk to each other, support,
Yeah.
developers, you know, we're all, so that I think that probably helps and why some things get done faster. It's a kind of a benefit of being a small kind of agile team. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a huge benefit. Dude, we have some really great questions coming. I'm just trying to decide which one to click first. Okay, this is a great question. Dan's asking, could selling music on Bandzoogle largely replace Bandcamp? Can you take donations for downloads like Bandcamp? So he's asking about the flexible pricing or the choose your own price feature. Is that possible?
Yeah. Thanks, Dan. I mean, yeah, but the thing with Bandzoogle selling tools is that it's completely flexible and it's completely up to you. So you can, yes, I mean, you could sell all the things that you're selling on Bandcamp. You could sell them on Bandzoogle. We also have a Bandcamp integration. So if you wanted to use Bandcamp and sell it on your website, you can essentially make your Bandcamp stuff, the stuff that you are selling on Bandcamp. You can make it look like it belongs on your website, not as like a plugin thing that looks different. So we do have that partnership with Bandcamp, but you could technically sell everything that you want to sell on Bandzoogle, like your albums and your singles and things like that. It could be physical or digital, anything like that, and you can set whatever pricing you want. You can offer it for free. You can accept tips and donations, and yeah, I mean anything you can think of. I think you can pretty much do it. And we don't. Again, don't take any commission. So, I know Bandcamp has the commission free Fridays, I think it is, or I forget what exactly, but
Bandcamp Fridays. It's like Bandcamp Friday every day.
It's Bandcamp Friday every day at Bandzoogle. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's good. Yeah, we have 2 great questions that are similar, so I'm going to click through them fast and we can answer both at the same time. Main Man is asking, can an independent label also use Bandzoogle? I think I know the answer to this. And then Ian's asking, does Bandzoogle have subscribers, customers who are songwriters and composers as opposed to bands and artists? And is there marketing for this type of songwriter? I think he's asking, like, do the features still work? Let's combine these questions. Are there features for basically labels, songwriters, composers? Because we did talk a lot about the artist and the band, right? So I think I know the answer to this, but I'll let you take it.
Yeah, we do have all that stuff. So we have, I mean, we actually do have, like, if you were to search in Google, which is, for like website builder for record labels or website builder for songwriters or whatever, you would probably find one of our pages there that is like focused on those kinds of like, those kind of, customer segments, as we would call them in marketing.
Yes.
And so, yeah, we do have all those kinds of like, and if since we're talking marketing, like personas, right? So like, we do every time we're releasing like different new kind of like website templates or features, we're thinking about like our different customer segments. Like, so literally songwriters, singer-songwriters, composers, record labels, you know, producers, DJs, recording studios. I mean, all those we've got all those kind of mapped out, kind of thing,
Yes,
and
yes,
so
of course.
and we do like make sure that we have features for all of those different kinds of, and we think about how the contextualizing all of our features for all those different kinds of needs. So yeah, record labels, it would definitely be one of those ones. It's popular with, like, for independent record labels, it's pretty handy. You can also have, like, if you want to have all of your artists on their own Bandzoogle site, we have like bulk pricing, so you can get less expensive pricing if you have like a bunch of artists that are using who are on your label, using Bandzoogle. And yeah, we do. I don't. Yeah, I guess that's kind of it. We do think about the needs of all those different kinds of, musicians, and
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. That's great. Dan says thanks.
Yeah,
He loves
thanks,
the
Dan.
Bandcamp layers. Yes. We actually have a lot more love coming in. Justin says, love Bandzoogle. Thank you all so much. It's very clear that you guys are just packing the value for artists. So I'm sure that his love is multiplied beyond what can be expressed. A couple more really great questions coming in. Does Bandzoogle support the whole Facebook pixel process? So my artist page will show up everywhere in the world and use the same pixel number. Okay, I think he's asking. So yes, there is a full Facebook pixel integration built right in. But I think what he's asking is, do you support all of the Facebook pixel events? I think that's what he's asking.
Yeah, I think so. So we do have. I actually worked with the team at Facebook to on that
Nice.
integration, and so if you actually were to go and go into the Facebook ads thing interface,
Business
whatever.
center, yes.
Business Center, and you were to add, you go into through the flow of adding a pixel, you would see in there like the instructions for how to add your Bandzoogle pixel, or your Facebook pixel to Bandzoogle. And so, I mean, you could literally just take the actual pixel code and add it into the header, like as you could with any tag. But we do have like a integration where you could just add your pixel ID, and our system will make sure that it gets properly added to all the pages. And also what you're asking, I think the events, that would automatically track e-commerce events. So when you get sales through your site, those sales e-commerce events would track and display properly in your reporting and allow you to do all the remarketing and all the things, all the Facebook things.
Yeah, I just want to stress how good of a question this is and how crucial this feature is, because what Wes said is that we automatically track all your e-commerce events. That means that you will know if you get a purchase, and it'll send that data to Facebook so you can start building your custom audience of buyers, right? We talked about that in another video. But even if you don't get the sale, it's also tracking your abandoned carts and your initiate checkouts. That's true, right? It tracks initiate checkouts as well. Yep. Which is the second most important audience that you need to build, right? If you're talking about value of a customer, right? Obviously the buyer is the most valuable, but the second most valuable are the people who start the process, but for some reason don't finish. And that's really crucial. If you're talking about Facebook ads, you want to know who your initiate checkout people are just as much as your buyers, right? Because that audience is probably going to be more useful in the beginning stages of running ads. And so just kind of a little tangent to show just how crucial that feature is. And if you don't have your Facebook pixel properly installed, you're going to be missing out on a lot of valuable data, which will eventually just cap the usefulness of your Facebook ads. So I just wanted to kind of stress that, and how nice it is just to have a perfect integration built right in, because you are an official partner with Facebook. So
I like to think about, speaking to that a little bit, I like to think about intent, like with those types of audiences, like it shows a high intent to purchase, and intent, especially with Facebook ads, for me, like intent is so important, because you can reach anybody in the world or anybody on Facebook, but you don't know what they are, what they might intend to do, what they want, or that sort of thing. So when you see that somebody has come to your website, and even in the first place just visited your website, and especially if they have gone through the checkout flow, it shows a certain intent signal there that they might be interested to buy. And that's so important. Intent to me is like something that I think about a lot.
Yeah, you and me both, man. We have a couple iterations of this question. I'll pull them all up and we'll answer them at the same time. It's a great question. Here it is. We're all musicians. If you want to sell services on the site, for example, mixing, bass playing, drums, how would that integrate with the site? Is there a calendar feature? He's asking basically kind of creating your own version of maybe soundbetter.com. And Jennifer has a really similar question. I don't see a calendar for teaching music lessons. Do you have anything for music teachers? So let's just group it all together. Music teachers, service providers, anyone who needs to sell a service or a lesson, calendar features. Do you guys have that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Thanks. We have a calendar feature right now. The ability to book on a calendar is not something we offer right now, but it is on our radar. We've talked about that, and music. The music teacher, kind of the needs of a music teacher, is specifically something that we've talked about.
Mhm.
That we can offer. Definitely, we can offer more. We could offer more around that. We do have like it's not quite the same thing, but we do have like a gig salad integration where you could somebody
Mm,
could book a request to show, but that's obviously not the same thing as as booking
gotcha.
time on a calendar. But um,
In the meantime,
yeah,
someone can easily embed like a Calendly uh, link or something, right?
in the meantime, you could definitely
Mhm.
add any kind of HTML plugin thing, and
Mm.
eventually, I can. I'm pretty sure eventually that's something that we would be looking to add,
Yeah.
kind of integrated like our own with our own tools.
Do you guys offer redirects upon a successful purchase?
Um, we
Like a thank you page or something like that?
There is a thank you page. Is it customizable? It's customizable. Can you redirect it anywhere? I'm gonna say probably, but I don't know for sure.
Mhm.
That's a detail that
Yeah.
I'd have to look into.
Well, hey, if the thank you page is customizable, what you can do is create a product, 30-minute lesson. Once they buy, the thank you page has the Calendly link where they book their time. That's a great solution for
Yeah,
now, you know?
people definitely are using it for that. I
Mhm.
mean, you can sell you could sell lessons and things like that.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
that sort of gated content or downloads or things like that. So that
Oh, yeah, you can use that
there are
too. Yeah.
people, yeah, so there are people definitely doing that where the download link is available after you purchase and things like that. So there are like lots of cool
Mhm.
tools that you can use. Um, yeah, so it's possible. I
Yeah.
guess we'd have to kind of look at the specific use case and figure out, what the best way to use those tools would be for that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it definitely sounds possible, even though it's not like maybe it's not as, I don't know, dedicated as like a Calendly or whatever. It seems like there's ways you can make it work. And then same thing, going back to this question, um, yeah, it's clearly not a soundbetter.com, but soundbetter.com takes a pretty hefty commission. So you can probably make it work using just the regular e-commerce features
you could,
and
yeah,
being
you could,
clever about it. Mhm.
yeah, you could definitely sell services and things like that. But yeah, you'd be offering it probably as something that somebody would buy, kind of pay for on the site, and then after that, the you'd have to kind of figure out how you want to, I guess, manage the relationship with the person who has done the buying. But so yeah, it's
Mhm.
probably wouldn't be like you said as like as purpose focused, I guess, as something that sound
Right.
better. But um,
Yeah, that's a great actually way to put it because this is a great it's a good overall concept if you are going to start selling, if you're going to start creating products, managing the relationship. I love that you said that. After they buy, there's a hundred different ways that you can decide, okay, what's the next thing, right? Are they going to click a link and then get on my calendar? Or are they going to fill out a form where I'm going to gather information from them? Or are they going to access a membership area? All of that has to be answered in your product vision, right? And so it seems that everything that I just said is possible with Bandzoogle. You just have to decide how you want to set it up and decide, well, if I'm going to send them to a form, maybe I'll use a Google form, right? If I'm going to send them to a calendar link, maybe I'll use a Google Calendar or a Calendly or any other tool that, a lot of those things are free. So you can definitely set it up. Bandzoogle takes care of the money transfer, which is arguably the most important part. So um, Jennifer says, thanks. Looks like we answered that question. And
thanks, Jennifer.
thanks.
Yeah.
Nice. He says, definitely would be great to make it a little simpler for us. Hopefully, what I just said, though, will give some insight. It really depends on how you want to manage that relationship. So, thankfully, there's a great support team at Banzoogle who will take all of your requests. So,
And they could definitely answer certain things better than I could. Yeah.
yeah. All right. I think I'm going to say last call for questions. Drop them in really quick. We try to keep these things to an hour. So we're right up against time. If you have a burning question, type it out really quick. We'll try to get to it. But man, there's just been a lot of love. KP says, I have an account with Bandzoogle and I love it. So good. Let me see if there's any questions that we missed. I saw one that I can answer really quick. He says, hey, or hi all. Sorry, I'm just reading something that's not there. Hi all, I'm watching from Ghana. I'm an independent self-managed artist. Curious about both your thoughts on advertising on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and on Bandzoogle. So yeah, I'll answer this really quick. Bandzoogle would be the web builder for your website. So it would fit in with any of your existing advertising efforts, right? It would just be the builder, right? It would be the tool that creates the pages that you would advertise to. So if you are, I can't really imagine that Spotify and Bandzoogle would actually, it could work. If you're advertising on Spotify and you wanted to build a splash page, you could build that splash page on Bandzoogle. It can replace your link tree, basically. If you want to build a page with all your different streaming services, you could do that. You'd have to do it very manually, but I've done that before. You just create a list of buttons to your different streaming services, and thankfully, because Bandzoogle has a Facebook integration, it is pixeled. So usually with a lot of the dedicated tools, you have to pay more to actually have that Facebook pixel integration. But built it with Bandzoogle. If you built your link tree or your link tree style page manually in Bandzoogle, might need to hunt down a couple links, might need to spend a little bit of time. But at the end of the day, you're going to have a hugely practical page. It'll have all of your links. It will be pixeled by Facebook. You will get to add your Facebook click events, which if you guys don't know about that, definitely stay tuned. I'm going to be announcing my Facebook ads course very soon on the mailing list. So if you're not on the mailing list, now's the time to get on, because if you need to learn about all of that stuff, if you want to, learn how to do Facebook ads right, learn the tools in a deep way, join the mailing list. But just to make sure we put a cap on your question, yes, Bandzoogle is the tool that would be compatible with all of your current advertising efforts. So hopefully that answers your question. And let's see, a couple of questions came in. Okay, this one's really quick. I can answer this as well. Does Bandzoogle integrate with other tools such as Thrivecart for upsells, any of the membership sites, and more video integration? So I know for a fact, since I'm a Thrivecart user, Thrivecart has an amazing feature where you can embed a checkout on any page. It was like so crazy good. And if I'm not mistaken, Wes, Bandzoogle has an HTML block, right? You can embed any HTML code you want on any page. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
So there you go. Perfectly compatible. So, and then for membership sites, question, this is a really probably in the weeds question, but can you use webhooks with Bandzoogle?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, so to activate the membership site, you would have to use a Bandzoogle checkout. Is that true?
Yeah. You would have to use the Bandzoogle checkout. I don't integrating like with a third-party membership site. Yeah, there'd be no. I doubt you could do that. I mean, I don't think so. Yeah.
And then the only way that I know of would be like a webhook feature, which you guys don't have.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ian, to answer your question, it would have to be a Bandzoogle checkout for that membership if you do use Thrivecart, which is not unheard of. I have some products that are on my Kajabi checkout, and then I have some products that are on my Thrivecart checkout. 'Tis life, my friend. So, and then I think hopefully we answered that, but thank goodness you guys have an HTML block that can the same questions for different features. Yeah, you can integrate anything via HTML.
Yeah, we do have some built-in integrations too. We're just if you were to look up like Bandzoogle integrations, you could find a little list of the ones that we have.
Yes, yes. Ian says thanks. And we're going to have to cut it off. We are over our hour. Your questions were amazing. I did see one come in really quick. I just want to say, KP, really quick, shoot me an email. Okay. I don't want this to end just because this stream is over. But shoot me an email. If you guys aren't on my mailing list, this is how you get notified about amazing streams like this. We're so lucky to have Wes. We're going to have more guests on the channel. If you guys want to be in the know, go to indiemusicacademy.com. There's a little button at the top right that says free workshop. That free workshop is my free gift to you. And then once you go through the free video training, you will be on the notification list. So it's just my way of just making it super valuable for you guys. You get all of the notifications, you get notified of every event, plus you get a bunch of free training videos on marketing. It's a win-win. Honestly, there's no downside unless if you don't like me personally. But you're here, so I'm hoping that's out of the question. And with that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Wes, for being here, for sharing your knowledge, for being here on the channel today. I really appreciate it. I thought this was fantastic, really amazing. Ian says thanks. KP says good deal. Thank you. Just lots of thank you, lots of love. So with that, we're going to end this stream. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in today. And if you're watching the replay, definitely don't be shy. Keep dropping your comments in, even though it won't be live while you're watching. I do monitor the comments on the channel. So thank you again. With that, best of luck with your music careers, and we'll see you on the next live stream, which is only a few weeks away. So stay tuned for that notification, and I'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care, everyone. See ya.